Hello, everyone. My name is Roopa Sunku, and I'm the Chief Evangelist at Touch a Life Foundation. I have yet a very exciting, very humble person that I would like to introduce you to my new series called Career Elevations. It's none other than Prasad Jaladi. Prasad, to me, sees himself as a social entrepreneur, and his passions around chemistry and business development and intuitive understanding of what the future can bring and what are the gaps in this world is seemingly very, very exciting from what he has shared with me prior to this recording. So with that, let me welcome Prasad Jaladi to Career Elevations. And Prasad Garu, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are located right now?
Thank you, Rupa, for giving me this opportunity, and Tal for putting me on this platform again. My name is Prasad Jaladi. I am living in Austin, Texas. I call myself as a social entrepreneur. Why I call myself as a social entrepreneur of a different kind is a different story. But again, for the interest of audience, I would tell. I don't mind. I don't focus much on earning money, but I focus on making more social impact in everywhere and anything I do. So that's my humble beginning from my childhood. And I did masters in organic chemistry from Bhavnagar University. Later on, I worked in pharmaceutical industry since 1987 to 98. I ran QA, QC, R&D and consulting. At one point of time, I have dealt with 20 pharmaceutical technologies. And I have my own inventions also while I'm working in pharma industry as an R&D manager. I have changed the process of a few pharmaceutical products manufacturing, which save a lot of energy, time, and also give better yield. And I tried many things at different points, that kept me, engaging with different teams in different organizations. Also kept on learning one thing after another. And I also got on my hands-on computer while working in pharma industry very early on, I believe, in 1990 from India. So, my journey is, I believe, is a humble journey from a middle-class family. And I have nice parents who encourage me to do anything that I want to do. In fact, I have to admit that I drove my parents crazy, like my thoughts and everything. They never objected, but encouraged me to grow as I am. No sides were taken, and that put a lot of pressure on me also, so that I should give the same opportunity to my kids, along with others also, whoever are working with me or interacting with me at any time.
That's fantastic. That's just really good. So you talked about finishing your academic arena with organic chemistry, and you've also talked about working in the ERP space for technology companies and doing some business development. So tell me a little bit more of what was the direction or the initiative that you thought about going from organic chemistry to dabble with software package solutions when you came into the United States.
Wow, you are not trying to know all my secrets now. So, that's an interesting journey. In 1998, I was almost a popular consultant in Hyderabad. They used to call me a consultant with computer in those days. I used to be feeling proud, but I was expanding my R&D consulting business, and I was stuck with the financial support system through banks, etc. And since I have some experience with IT, me being crazy guy drawing some graphs on a white sheet for presenting data to FDA inspectors on for accelerator stabilities, etc. So I know that I can survive in IT. So I thought about shifting gears, and I picked SAP Material Management Functional Discipline. And I learned it quickly through one company called Computer in Hyderabad, and I moved to US. And surprisingly, the business were going down, especially ERP at the time. This was almost mid 1998. So I have to adapt to the a new job. So I pleaded with my management to give business development opportunity, and they laughed at me and asked me why I think that I would be better fit for business development. I gave them two reasons. One is I know how things work in US because I interacted with FDA inspectors. The second reason is I want to try. All that you lose is the cost of providing me business development, business cards, right? So they agreed with me, and then I started calling my colleagues and told why I took the different route, and I try to convince them to change their respective areas also if they liked. Some agreed, some did not. Whoever agreed, I started working with them, and I have retrained them on different areas. Since I started on different areas, nobody wants to touch their resumes also. That's why I got very lucky also, because all my seniors were worrying what happens to this consultant if we send him on a new technology where they don't have any idea. But I have no such fear. Technology is evolving. Everybody gets a chance to learn and make things work, right? So that's when luckily things changed a little bit. Everything on internet came in, and e-business technologies and CRM was propping up. And I took a chance to travel to different places to attend conferences, IT conferences, and I met executives and I met project managers, and I told them what I was doing in terms of training and supporting some consulting projects. And for some strange reason, they all liked me because I was bold, telling them what I know and what I'm doing and how we are struggling as a company, of course, as an individual too. So somehow that turned into a friendship, and then guess what? Within 6 months, I have sent 50 people almost, I believe, to the projects, and I became third best revenue generator in the company without taking a single contact from the company.
Excellent.
So that's how I
Amazing.
got into business development in US.
Fantastic. I think there are three aspects that I was able to draw from you with your experiences that you've narrated. First, being the ability to take risk, not having the fear of failure, and driving towards your passion and knowing that you will be able to support yourself because of that inner passion. That is amazing. That is, I think, thinking out of the box and giving you the opportunity to look at what are the need for the hour or need for the day and building on that with grit and with passion, I believe is something that you have enumerated beautifully through your journey in technology coming from a chemistry background. Tell me, were you very intelligent student who was very academically driven and focused, or were you more of a go-getter personality that said, I can do what I have to achieve and what I want to achieve? What is the description of your personality?
Thank you for your kind words. As I am speaking now, I never speak in my childhood. I was very, very shy guy. My own life experiences taught me how to be in the community. I was so shy. Even my guests, our relatives who are coming on to my house used to say hello to me, rather me saying to them. I was such a shy guy. So coming from that situation, I was in eighth grade. Actually, a couple of things happened. First thing is around sixth grade. I have participated in one of the I camps hosted by Rotary Club in Andhra Pradesh. The work that I have to do is to hand out the scissors and all the equipment that is required for eye surgery. So I went there and I enjoyed doing that thing. And those operations were done for poor people, and I looked at their situation and understood what's the value of life here. And they're all struggling, and we are very blessed from a middle class family. We should have some sense of support for them. later on, around my intermediate time, I started a business. I call that as my first social entrepreneurship gig. The business is to deliver milk packets to doorstep. So I made reasonable money, and one day I found a family that is struggling in my community to meet the ends. So and that started bothering me. I went to that family and said I would give this business to them, and they never believed me. So they were thinking why this guy who is making money would do that to us. Then I made 3 or 4 trips, and they started kind of trusting me. Then I gave that business, and I thought after giving that business to them without any strings attached, I thought my parents might be mad on me, but lucky me again, they haven't said anything until today about that, and that gave me an idea. It is always good to share something that others don't have, right? It could be money. And the third thing happened to me in my life was I went to join masters in Gujarat. One of my friends came along with me, and I paid my fee, and he suddenly asked me, Prasad, can I join too? And I don't have much money actually, but it shook me to the core. I started thinking, God, this guy deserves the same opportunity like me. Why he is struggling in this situation? I know money is the big thing in every family then, but I told him one thing, and I'm not a smart guy, but again, I somehow wanted to help him and said, could you repay my money after 1 year at least so that we both can adjust in the shoestring budget for a year, if you like? He said yes, and I paid his money, and guess what? My original plan while joining Masters was to do PhD, but he went on finishing PhD there. But to my surprise, I joined in a pharma company after finishing my exams. Within 10 days, I joined Dr. Reddy's group. That was my first job. So this kind of incidents in my life made me more responsible and more committed to the community before more committed towards others also, because everybody needs some help when they need, right? So standing up and supporting them on the moment would be a valuable thing on whatever we achieve later. So somehow I got the connection. I have missed the connection between money and whatever I am thinking on that moment. That made me to do a lot of crazy stuff, and that's not easy. I have my setbacks also. I fell and I got up, and I'm doing same thing again and again, because this life, it's like energy comes up and goes down kind of thing. So my thing is to show the best part of your humanity, so that somebody would also come to you when you really need something like that. So I'm
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, let me highlight some of the things that you enumerated so well in your personal story in this conversation. First, you are a selfless, humble human being who looks around his ecosystem environment to say everybody should have equal opportunity, and I will facilitate whatever I can in the means and in the, as you called it, the shoestring budget, to be able to make somebody more around me have the opportunities that I have. Even when you talked about the journey of your consulting business in e-business and ERP, you talked about first setting yourself apart from the rest of the people, and then thinking about how many more jobs you can create. So you have always thought about yourself, and I think you aptly describe yourself as a social entrepreneur. The next question I want to ask you is, what or who have been the inspirations around you? How do you get these ideas? Yes, you went to the iCamp and realized how happy these people, poor people, are being given the sight of vision or ability to see better than where they started with. So, what were some of the sort of personal drivers or ecosystem influences that you had to make you who you are today?
Yeah, there are a few things, Actually, some of the cues I got from sports also. I was a very good student in those days. I used to involve in other things also, like sports. I was a national Kho player in those days. Whenever we
Fantastic.
did that,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. I used to represent my district, Krishna district, while I was in school. Later on, when I moved higher up, I became a state player once, and then I represented Andhra Pradesh. All those years, I played so many tournaments. One lesson I learned is you have to give your best shot, no matter what. So don't think about the success first. You got to try for that. There is no doubt. But again, you got to put yourself in that situation to win all the time, no matter what. Give your best shot. Be honest. Be persistent, and expose yourself, your strengths and vulnerabilities with your teammates, so that they would also come to rescue you if at all it is required. Otherwise, we are all doing fine as a team, right? That's teamwork. And another thing is, while I was in 8th grade, you might be remembering these things. We used to have self-governance day. That means on that day, all kids would do a job, perhaps a job of teachers, right? One of those times, in one of those days, I was very shy guy, as I was telling you. So I thought it's none of my, I can't handle that, and certain things happened. Kids picked the teacher roles, and one of the teacher came to me and asked me, Prasad, nobody has taken English teacher position. Would you try that? I said, no, I was almost crying, So that's a tough job, right? Teaching English to your classmates is not that easy, right? I have to live with that failure if I fail for my life. So I did it on that, and I resisted, but he said to me, try it, nobody, you should try. And for some strange reason, I accepted that and I took it. And again, as usual, I think all stars aligned for me on that day, and I won a prize too. Another thing is, I learned resilience also. This is an interesting story. When I was in final year BSc, I failed in organic chemistry. One thing hurt me. I was a good student and I didn't pass. So I started asking myself why for 2 days. Then I decided on one crazy thing again. That is, cancel all the final year exams, including practical exams, and retake it. Do I know whether it is possible or not? I have no clue. So I talked to my principal and I talked to my lecturers over there. They all said, don't do any stupid stuff, Prasad. There is nobody we know that they have done like this. So we haven't heard either on this kind of stuff. So I was stuck there, and on the next day I got another idea. Is there any rule that would prevent me not to take any exam, all exams, if I want to? Then I went to Andhra University, met registrar office, met some folks in registrar office, and I found that there is no such rule like I cannot appear all exams together, including practicals in final year if I fail. So I requested them to give me that thing on writing on a letter pad, and I brought it and presented to the principal and other clerks who take money, and they were still pursuing me not to go that way. I told them one thing, if the university gives me permission to write all exams, I would do that. Otherwise, I would be losing money and I would be writing the only test that I failed, right? Only exam that I failed, that is organic chemistry. Guess what? I got hall ticket for everything, and I have rewritten all exams, and I didn't get first class, but I got higher second class. That is one thing that taught me resilience. People say so many things, but you know who you are. If there is a possibility, take it for good reasons. Thank you.
Fantastic. As you were speaking, I decided to name the adjectives that come pouring in through all of your stories and your narratives that spells your name. So for me, Prasad stands for P, who is a person who is very passionate and almost compassionate. Then R stands for renegade, or the resilience that you have shown in your life and all your learnings. A is the adventurous approach that you take not having any fears of failure and moving forward. S, definitely the center letter of your name, is the social entrepreneur, that you draw energy from the people around you and the experiences around you to make you who you are. A, again, stands for that high achiever approach in you, saying, I may have failed, but I know I can still do it. Just to the last story that you shared, where you wanted to try something new and achieve something that has not been accomplished until today. D is for the dedication that you have and the humility that you render in everything that you do and share. So, folks, I'm sure you have drawn from many of the stories and narratives that Prasad has shared. And I feel extremely excited for having met and introduced you to Prasad and some of his learnings in life, giving you the opportunities to think about what you can do around you and make things happen with what he has shared, looking at the people around you, drive on the energy and the excitement of the day, or what is also foretelling of the future, and giving yourself the opportunity to try and never fear failure. So thank you so much, Prasad Garu, for some amazing messages that you shared with us today. In the very end, I know time has just passed by, and I want to ask you, is there any one message that you want to leave to our listeners who are making career choices or trying to decide what kind of education they want to base their careers with, and anything more that you can share to the folks out there?
Sure, thank you very much. By initiating and telling my name in a different version made me so humble again, and it's a big responsibility, I believe, to keep up to all the words that you uttered. It's a great undertaking for me, and I hope I would keep up to your kind words. And I would try. I will try. So, having said that, nowadays there wouldn't be a day go by without hearing the news about global warming, ocean sea level rise, and all the healthcare related issues, etc. So for me, the next big thing is focusing on environment. We cannot survive on this planet without having the right environment around us. And we got into this kind of crazy lives nowadays. We are expecting ROI on everything, but the reality is we have to make peace with the nature. We have been demanding more than whatever our planet could offer to us. In other words, we are on an offshoot of 1.6 times that our Mother Earth could give us. That's a big ask. So what do? We have to learn the art of making peace and develop our technologies focusing on environment first, so that we don't create more pollution anymore. That way we can be more innovative. Doing ideas from environmental point of view would also have another angle to it. If I have to refer one thing like ocean health, that itself has 30 trillion economy. So there are plenty of opportunities if we could put our mind and focus on environment from now onwards. I believe in one thing. When a president of the US said we can send a person to the moon, we did it, right? This is also the same thing. We can do it. Let's work together to take care of everybody. We can earn more money, but again, without good health, what are we going to do with that money? It's that simple. On the other way, we have a responsibility and commitment to hand out this planet to our next generation. And of course, we need to keep the biodiversity in place, otherwise we would be in trouble too. Without these things, there is no survival. Planet would be there, but we may not be there if we don't put our acts together. So let's work together to save the planet and environment first. This is going to be a big, you can't believe it is not like another solar euphoria coming. So please focus on that and start engines to work in that direction, so that we all can sustain and survive as a brilliant civilization moving ahead. Thank you all for listening to me, and thank you Roopa ji for giving me this great opportunity to speak my mind to our audience. And thank you, Touch a Life Foundation, for giving me another opportunity to share my experiences and views on my world of living. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was definitely a lot to think about, and you shared ideas and your ability to look to the future and leave, as you said, a good civilization or a good environment with good health for each one of us. Thank you once again, and really appreciate your words today. And audience and listeners, I'm sure you're able to draw from some of these experiences and carve your own path to success, to the future, and to the next generation. Thank you again.